Welcome to the virtual office hours on the road. I think this is episode 20. We are here in First Presbyterian Church, Elizabeth, New Jersey graveyard. Over here to my right is the historic First Presbyterian Church of Elizabeth, founded in 1664, although the building is not from 1664. In a few minutes, we're going to head over to the Academy building, the parish house, which is over here to my left. We are standing here in front of the gravestone marker of James Caldwell and his wife Hannah, who are sort of local celebrities here. You may recall from the last office hours we saw James's statue at the Presbyterian Historical Society. We are doing some consulting work here, some public history work here. We are getting to know this incredible historic community. Later in the day, you're not going to see footage of this, but later in the day we are heading to Boxwood Hall, which is the home of Elias Boudinot, who used to be the president of the Continental Congress, and then William Livingston's home at Liberty Hall. Livingston was the revolutionary governor of New Jersey. So we're here getting to know it. We're meeting with Reverend Bob Higgs. There's been a lot of money put into this place in terms of trying to revitalize, using history, using this historic property here to try to revitalize the city of Elizabeth, bring the story of the revolution in New Jersey to the forefront of the kind of historical narratives and stories we want to tell about the revolution. There's a lot of things going on here, a lot of exciting things. We're going to talk to Bob Higgs in a few minutes. But office hours on the road here in Elizabeth, New Jersey. Remember last week's office hours at the Presbyterian Historical Society, we paused before the James Caldwell statue there, and I was telling you a little bit about this consulting project that we're working on with the First Presbyterian Church of Elizabeth. I am here with the pastor of the First Presbyterian Church of Elizabeth, Reverend Robert Higgs, and we are getting a tour of this incredible facility here known as the Academy. We're getting a tour of the church. Tell us, Bob, what is this building we're in right now?
Well, this is what we are calling the Academy of Elizabethtown. It's a 4-story, 20,000 square foot building, originally built in 1917, and it was used as the parish house for the church. As you can see, we're standing in the auditorium, which has facilities for movies and theater and concerts and all kinds of things. We are in the process of renovating this building for community service and arts and culture. We have downstairs a commercial kitchen. We have a large basement area that can be subdivided to classrooms, and we have all kinds of things that we plan to be happening here.
Now, as we were walking in, you were telling me about the history of this spot here in the Academy. Tell me a little bit about that 18th century, the school, and the...
Well, this is the third building to stand on this site. And the first building was built in about the 1750s by the community as a secondary school. And among the alumni of that school was a man named Alexander Hamilton, you may have heard of. And a few years before him was a guy named Aaron Burr.
That's great.
They didn't meet at the time. Who knows what history would have been had they?
Yeah. So they were not together.
They were not together.
Okay.
No, Burr was here in the 1760s, and Hamilton was sponsored by several of the prominent citizens of Elizabeth to come up from the West Indies and get his education here.
Okay. Now, one of the exciting places about Elizabeth, as it was known back then, Elizabethtown, in many ways, this is the birth of New Jersey right here.
Yes.
I mean, this is, we talk about the middle colonies even. I mean, we're pre-Pennsylvania here. I mean, Pennsylvania doesn't become a colony until 1681. The Dutch kind of beat the English to the punch. They were over in Manhattan in the 1620s, but in terms of English settlements, give me a little snapshot of the sort of history of this place that we're standing on here, and why Elizabethtown is so important.
Well, this is where New Jersey was born in 1664. It got its start right after the English took over New Amsterdam from the Dutch in 1664. And a group of actually Connecticut English settlers, led by a man named John Ogden, approached the brand new governor of New York, Nichols, and said, "Hey, we would like permission to settle your new land south of the Hudson River." and he was given permission to negotiate with the Indians to obtain land, which he did in October 1664, and they chose this spot to begin their settlement process. If you look around geographically, we are in a very secure area. We have a protected harbor only a mile away. We have a river which leads very nicely into the western part of the territory. Excellent farmland, freedom from flooding and things like that. So they said, this is the spot we're going to start our colony, and that's what they did.
Why do you think, we hear so much about colonial Williamsburg, New England, right? I mean, what is the sort of tourism potential here? I mean, why is this place so overlooked as we remember the past, right?
Well, I'm
really playing on his strengths here now. Right?
That's a great question, John, because the city of Philadelphia by itself spends more on tourism than the entire state of New Jersey. I think there's a whole lot more to New Jersey than just our beaches, though I love our beaches. Right. But the fact of the matter is the American Revolution would have failed had it not been the persistence of the people in this region. We forget that George Washington spent most of his time in New Jersey,
that's right,
in Morristown. And had the people here allowed the British, who were just a mile away in Staten Island, to cross over and get Washington's army, then the revolution would have been over right then and there. But these people stood firm. This was the most devastated area in the war, according to George Washington himself, yet people did not give up. And they defeated the British on several occasions, and they withstood the constant invasions by the British and the Loyalists.
Yeah. In some ways, I mean, this is very overlooked, I think, in the story of the Revolution. Now, let's make some connections. We're in the city of Elizabeth. We are in this incredible new academy, which is going to be used again as a cultural center of some sort. Bob was just showing me the space that's in the front, which will be serve as a museum for the American Revolution. We were just over in the First Presbyterian Church, the Elizabeth Church, the sanctuary. Let's make the connections. How can history, and how can the history of this place help to revitalize a community? Many of our listeners and watchers of this series are very interested in this idea of public history.
Yes.
How history can come and create community. What is your vision for this place? You've got millions of dollars in grants to refurbish the church, to refurbish this place. Give me your vision. How can history transform a city like Elizabeth?
Well, I think history has so much potential of building pride, building knowledge and awareness, and getting people to understand exactly the contribution that their region has made to making us what we are today. Here in Elizabeth, we have people who risked everything to come from faraway places to settle and start a new life here.
Your congregation, just to interrupt, is largely what, Latino?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Elizabeth itself is a city of over 60% Latino population, and we reach out to them by saying the history of this place is your history. The stories of the people who lived and died and fought here have so much in common with the very same reasons you came here today. And so if we can build those connections, then we can say the people across the street can really have ownership and pride into what is going on here. And with that pride comes all kinds of side benefits. People want to live here. People start thinking of their area, their region, as not just a place to live, but a place to be. Just look at what Tidewater did with turning colonial Williamsburg and Jamestown and making their history famous. Well, it's not just a tourist destination, it is also a major industrial destination. All kinds of new investments come to Tidewater because of that. Philadelphia, Boston, so many other places have used their history as a lever to pump up pride and make people want to come here and see all the things that those cities have to offer. We have so much to offer here in this section of New Jersey, and we want people to know about it.
Absolutely. As some of you know who follow the office hours or read my blog, you know I'm a Jersey guy, North Jersey, Morris County. Spent some time in Newark and Elizabeth. Bob came out to meet me at Messiah last summer, pitched this idea to me. We're doing a specific piece of the research on James Caldwell, the Revolutionary pastor, and maybe we'll hear more about him in future episodes of the Office Hours as we uncover things. But what a wonderful way. We actually just started a new public history concentration in our department at Messiah. What a wonderful way of bringing history to a community to help revitalize a place. History, folks, is not just the names and the dates, but it can have a powerful way of shaping a city, a town, a region, and this is just incredible stuff that you're doing. So as you can see, there's some exciting things going on here in Elizabeth. I love the vision that Bob Higgs has, the Reverend, the pastor at this church. We spent the day here. It's been a great day. I am actually up here in the sanctuary. It is a sanctuary modeled after a 1790 New England meeting house. It's not the actual pews and so forth, but they've redesigned this so it looks like a 1790s meeting house. I'm, of course, up here in the pulpit where the preacher in the 19th century, the 18th century would have preached. There are all throughout this church a host of different features that represent the 18th century. And again, we've had a great day here in Elizabeth. We are hard at work trying to uncover the story of this church, its relationship to the Revolution, its relationship to this community, and James Caldwell, who is a pivotal figure here. So thanks for watching the Office Hours. We will see you next time.